Welcome in for another edition of On the Tee. I'm Anita Marks, my partners in crime, as they show up, just miraculously appear on the screen, and that is John Mascari. Look at you, dude. I love the shirt. You know I'm coming to Alpine to get that shirt, or maybe I should just log on to Golf for Her on Christina's Golf for Her site and buy and purchase that shirt. I love that shirt. We are with you each and every Tuesday night here, 7 o'clock on PFN, all our social media channels, Anita Marks, John Mascari, Christina Thompson. Looking back at the week that was and looking ahead to the week that is in golf. And then also we've got a very special guest who's going to be joining us, actually two very special guests who's going to be joining us. This season, our first PGA Pro, who Christine has been so kind to book for the show, Adam Long, is going to be joining us. So excited to talk to him, fresh off the Heritage Tournament. And Jules Trudeau is going to join us, and that is his caddy. So excited to have them both on the program. As soon as we get them on, hopefully they'll be joining us in about 5 or 10 minutes. That would be great. So a look back to Heritage. We'll look forward to what's going on in Louisiana this week. Another kind of interesting week, considering that it's going to be twosomes that are going to be playing, teams, partners are going to be playing with one another to try to win this tournament. And then there's a slew of other really interesting storylines that we're going to dive into tonight as well. But as always, we'd like to start the show with a show drink. And the drink that I should say, Christina prepares for you, typically has some type of correlation with the tour stop that the tour is on. So Christina, take it away. What you got?
This one was an easy one. I mean, we're going to NOLA this week. So of course we're drinking the famous Hurricane. Woo-hoo! Although I don't have a Hurricane glass, it's going to have to settle for this, but I think it looks pretty good, right, for Hurricane. So,
oh yeah. Listen,
anyone who's been down to Bourbon Street, has been down to New Orleans, they've definitely stopped at Pat O'Brien's for that signature drink. So here's the recipe. We've got light rum, dark rum, passion fruit, orange juice, lime juice, all the great stuff. It's easy. This was an easy 19th hole for me to do. I was just excited to finally make one on my own. So
I love it. So, as you both know, I lived in New Orleans for 3 years. I lived in the French Quarter, and I was on Dumaine and Dauphine. That's where I lived. So I was 2 blocks from Bourbon Street. So needless to say, I had quite a few hurricanes in my lifetime.
Oh, those things will mess you up, man.
I have yes, they will here. So
I love it. Let's toast. Let's toast to you guys, right?
Cheers.
Well, John, are you at the club?
I'm in my office. Here, I'll toast you with my walkie-talkie.
Are you at the club?
I'm in my office. Yeah, I'm at the club right now. We had ladies welcome back night tonight, so I ran downstairs to make sure I didn't miss the show. So
that explains the shirt, the floral pattern. You're just trying to fit in with all the ladies. Okay.
Whatever it takes.
I love it. All right. As always, we recap. We look back before we look forward. The Heritage. I think we've been blessed with 2 really great storylines the past 2 weeks, haven't we?
Yeah, 100%.
With Decky and the first Japanese winning the Masters and all that means for the Asian community. Great storyline. And this week was tugging at the heartstrings, right? Stuart Sink, his son Reagan on his bag, his wife, survivor of breast cancer, following them around the course, a family affair. You couldn't help but root for him and root for the family and root for the guy. Yeah. John, let's start with you. What did you see? What did you see from Stuart Sink? What did you see in his game? This is his 3rd Heritage title. It's just is more than anything. 63, 69, 70. Is this just a course that fits his game to a T? What'd you see? What'd you like?
Yeah, you probably think he's going to look into some property there from when he retires. I mean, coming out of the gate with a pair of 63s, I think what I saw most was just a comfort and a calmness to himself. He would make a bogey, then he'd bounce right back with a birdie. He made bogey on 3 in the 3rd round, came back with birdies on 4 and 5. It never got away from him. And listen, he was very open about some of his missteps in the past with having a lead coming into Sunday, a bigger lead. And he owned it, and he was not nervous, and he just went through. It was like a walk in the park, if you ask me. Listen, Morikawa had to shoot 62, I think we said, to get anywhere near close to him. And a nice, cool 70 got the job done. Nothing too crazy, but what a great experience, as you mentioned, Anita, for him, for his family, for his son, and wow, second guy this year to have multiple wins on tour. The other being Bryson DeChambeau, and I think only the fourth player in PGA Tour history to have 2 wins over the age of 47 in 1 year.
Yeah, but
So,
but today 47 is the new 30.
Yes, it is.
So let's be honest.
Spoken like 2 people that are over 47.
Watch yourself.
Oh,
Us youngins over here.
But you know what? Let's think about this. I mean, we've had, like you said, Anita, every tournament, it seems like, okay, we have the guys that we're rooting for, the guys we have money on, but we're so lucky we're getting these storylines also to be rooting for. So sometimes it gets complicated on Sundays because you want to root for your wallet, but then you're rooting for the story. So I just love, all right, maybe you're rooting for your wallet. But I
love my friend Christina, who she's turned into, because I love the fact that she's even talking about rooting for your wallet. Like, Christina doesn't even like to gamble on the golf course.
Do not. But
right.
I don't. But I like rooting for these stories. So, and it always changes who I'm rooting for on Sunday. Like that back 9, it's like, all right, I don't even care about that story. Let's, we want this so-called player to win. It's super great. Golf is great. It's been such a great season this year, and I've just been enjoying it. Hope everybody else is.
Some other guys that were at the top of the leaderboard: Varner, Grillo, McNeely, Connors. Now, it's kind of like learn your lesson, Anita. Like, one of the metrics that I should have paid more attention to is don't bet on guys that were active and attractive at the Masters, because the
is that an actual stat on the PGA Tour? The strokes gained, active and attractiveness.
It should be.
It should be, right? Because it's just so it's such a mental grind that it's so hard to turn around and win here. And so heading into Sunday, full disclosure, I put money on a bunch of guys that I thought were really going to make some noise and have some exceptional Sunday rounds. Now, I didn't expect anybody to, unseat Sink, but I was expecting Webb to finish in the top 5. He shot a 70. He finished tied for 9. Answer tied for 18. I thought for sure he'd get into the top 10. He shot a 70, tied for 18. Neesmith, 70. Tied for 48. I thought for sure he would get into the top 40. Morikawa shot a 72. Finished tied for 7. I put money down that he would finish in the top 5. And of course, my dude, my guy, Zalatoris, 73 on Sunday, right? Tied for 42. I had a boatload of money on him in the top 20 each and every week. I tell you what, he's the ATM machine. And unfortunately, he just couldn't seal the deal. But another thing with Zalatoris is that, has he taken the tournament off this year? I don't think. I mean, he's played like every tournament so far this season. It's ridiculous. The dude is like,
he's just excited.
He's got no status. He should make as much money as he could try to make. Of course, he's going to play. But are you guys still together, or are you guys broken up? You and Zalatoris?
Well, I'm wearing orange tonight. What does that tell you? Maybe I'm back on the Ricky train. Our very special guests are waiting for us to bring them into the show. So let's do that now. Without further ado, PGA Tour Pro Adam Long joins us now, along with his caddy, Julien Trudeau. Hi, gentlemen. Welcome to have you on the show. This is fantastic. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hey, great. Thanks for having us.
I'm feeling very Brady Bunch-like right now.
Jules for the win right there. Jules for the win.
You like that?
I love it. Jules wearing a golfer her hat. I love it. All right, Adam, let's start with you first and foremost. We just got done talking about the Heritage and Sink winning it. And as I said when we opened up the show, we're kind of blessed with 2 phenomenal storylines the past 2 weeks, right? Like Decky winning the Masters and what that means for Japan and the Asian community. And you couldn't help but root for Stewart and his son Reagan, who was on his bag, like just the whole emotional, the family thing. you know, the wife who battled cancer, breast cancer survivor, following them around the course. It was such a good feel-good story. Kind of give us your thoughts on Stuart Sink and him winning Heritage this past week.
Yeah, that was pretty phenomenal. I mean, I was sitting on the couch watching it and cheering him on pretty hard. I had some other friends in the mix too, but it's pretty hard not to root for Sink. I mean, I've gotten to know him pretty well over the last couple of years and played with him a few times, and I mean, couldn't be a better dude. So you know, to see him in the mix, and you know, he won that tournament with 20 years ago, or a little more over 20 years ago. I mean, pretty awesome story. And for as much as the young up and comers and the young guns and the Zalatoris and the other young guys on tour, it's like those are some fun, awesome. That's the future of the tour for sure. But at the same time, when you see somebody like that, Stewart winning, brings it back to, you know, anybody can still win on the PGA Tour.
Is he going to make the Ryder Cup team or what? Like,
he could. He certainly could.
Pluck one more off. That's impressive.
That would be super cool. Hey, so Adam, I'm going to start with you. I have a question for you, and then of course I'm going to have a question for my friend over there, Jules. But my question for you is, you know, we hear sometimes that some players, prior to them getting their first win, they go into their tournament, their training with one kind of mental, you know, focus. And then after they get their first win, things kind of start to change. So did anything change for you after your win at the Desert Classic 2019? And what was it like to beat Phil in that tournament?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, a lot changed after that win for sure for me. I mean, I was a rookie, and you know, I knew I was good enough to play on tour, but I didn't know how good. And you know, I mean, down in a battle with Phil Mickelson and Adam Hadwin at PGA West was pretty incredible. To come out on top, birdieing the last hole to win by one over those guys was just ridiculously like crazy fairy tale stuff for me. And then yeah, some things changed. I guess just I wanted to like validate it. I think I really wanted to prove that I belonged and it wasn't a fluke. I wasn't just you know, one hit wonder kind of thing, and put a lot of pressure on myself to follow that up. And when the truth is, I was still a rookie. I was still seeing all these courses for the first time. I was still trying to figure out where the locker room was every week. Like there was still a lot for me to learn. So I didn't need to put that extra added pressure on myself. But you know, I caught better stride later on in that season, and you know, things have been pretty good since.
So my second question was for Jules, if I can just jump into this convo right now. So Jules, I know you've caddied for obviously Adam and Graham Dillette and some incredible other golfers. And I know you've played some spectacular courses and have had the opportunity to participate in so many, you know, high level events like the Masters. Is there an event or a moment or a shot that you as a caddy have witnessed that like to this day still gives you chills, that you just get excited about?
Better be one of my shots, Jules. Come on.
You know what? It was probably from my favorite player that I ever worked for. Her name was Mallory Blackwelder.
Dang it.
You lost, Adam. Sorry.
You can argue with that, Adam. Seeing her get her tour card in 2014 down there in Daytona was, I mean, I just lost it. I was crying. It was super emotional, and just seeing the whole grind of the whole year. I'm sure, Adam, you probably felt like that too when you got your card. I know you had it kind of locked up early, but once you knew you had your card locked up, like that's such a huge accomplishment that you've been working for your whole life. So just not really a shot there. It was kind of the whole tournament, but just those emotions that we felt when she got finished there on the 54th hole or 77th hole. I'm not sure, but that was pretty cool. And I'm still waiting for Adam's hole in one with me on the bag, so that'll be that'll be might get me back on the wagon.
Quit telling me to go for the middle of the green, you wuss.
This is leading right into my question perfectly. So we talk a lot of times about the caddy pro relationship on the course and the trust and the confidence that you have with each other, being on the same page. I love to think that happens all the time, but fill us in a little bit times where maybe, you know, it's 6, but you want to hit 7 at them. And walk us through how you get to an agreement with that, and how that relationship evolves through the round.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of those instances, and I think everybody's kind of different. Each player and caddy are a little bit different in how they go about it. But Jules, with the playing background that he has, is like one of his best assets. Is that he can see the shots, he can feel the shot the moment. He's in it, like he knows what's going on. Where I think there's a lot of guys that maybe hadn't been in those in those same situations or played at a high level that may try to force it or almost just say something. But Jules honestly gets it. So that's been great for me having him on the bag, because I can really trust his opinion and his value his input. But yeah, I mean, there's sometimes it's hard because it's like I always feel like it's always my decision as the player. Like if we screw up, it's my fault. Like I hit the shot, I chose the club. Like I've been playing this game long enough. Like if I know something's wrong, like I know well enough to do it. But at the same time, I want that input. So there's certainly some instances where we're kind of between clubs here and there, and he'll push me either to be more aggressive or maybe more conservative, or really get me to kind of talk out what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling with each, maybe like you said, the 6 or the 7, kind of walk them through maybe each shot and kind of lead me towards one direction in one way or another.
It's an interesting little dynamic, Jules. From your end, I'm assuming you're kind of reading him through the round, looking at him on the range, filling him out of the first few holes, and then you're going to use those calculations into some of your club selections. How much of that do you put into just kind of getting a read on maybe the first 4 or 5 holes with what game Adam's bringing that day?
Well, back to being in between clubs, it's probably the hardest part is maybe not so much picking a club, but just making sure that the player is comfortable, because, Adam's a pretty good golfer. He'll probably pick the right one even if I don't say anything. So I kind of want to stay out of the way, but I want to, so you're kind of treading lightly a little bit. So that's a tough decision. And even like for people at home that play, I mean, we're all in between clubs a lot of the times, so it's like, how do you feel that day? Do you like to hit it hard? And, if the pin's on the right and you draw it, well, that's fine. Let's just hit the middle of the green this hole. So that's, that's tough. And that's communication is huge. I mean, we make mistakes, and I want to make sure that if I mess up, I want to be the first one to tell them, like, dude, that's my bad. And, what can we do to improve? So it's kind of it's tough.
Guys, I'd like to hit on a number of some of the hot topics on tour right now with you guys, and just have you kind of chime in, each of you, on what you think. And first and foremost, let's talk about DeChambeau, right? Like popping the spinach, boom, boom, hitting the shit out of the ball. Unbelievable. Rory's come out, and I wonder if you feel this way, and I'd love for both of you to comment on this. And that, it's evident, I'm not breaking news here, but Rory's kind of lost right now. And prior to him kind of being lost, he said that, he tried to emulate what DeChambeau is doing. Do you feel that because DeChambeau has become so long off the tee that now other guys in and around the tour are trying to change their swing off the tee and trying to get that distance as well? How has DeChambeau affected the tour in that way?
Yeah, I mean, first, I think big time. I think a lot of guys are at least thinking about it or trying some things. Rory came out and said something in the media, which was, I think surprised a lot of us that he would even admit that or bring that up, but he's very calculated in his ways. I think he's very honest, and that was pretty awesome of him to say. But, I just know from the club I belong to here in Florida that there are guys on the Corn Ferry Tour and the PGA Tour alike that they're trying to find some extra yards, and they're spending time in the back of the range just wailing at it as hard as they can on their TrackMan and just trying to find some way to hit it 8 yards further. And I don't think that was necessarily the case before Bryson. Everybody was that's kind of how far you are, and that was kind of it. But yeah, I think people are more aware of it, and I think what Bryson's done is phenomenal. I think it's awesome for him. I mean, he spent years in the making of trying to get to this point, and he's been successful at it. And we all have the ability to go ahead and take that challenge on. We all can if we want. I haven't chosen to go down that road. Not to say that I won't at some point, but I just haven't yet. I don't know. That's not a big priority for me, but everybody's a little different, I guess. And I'm just not comfortable going down that road right now.
Yeah, those protein shakes are on their way to your house right now. Adam may not be in the gym 7 hours a day right now, but he's got his almost 1-year-old son doing push-ups right now in the living room, don't you, bud?
Nice.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, it's talked about often in regard to the distance at DeChambeau, how a course plays differently for him. Augusta, not the best course for him, right? Like, I thought he learned his lesson in November. Obviously, that wasn't the case in April, but nonetheless, how accurate is that, and how big of an advantage is it in regard to the distance he gets as opposed to everybody else?
Jules?
Well, I mean, there's no question it's an advantage, but just like Bryson, just like playing with him, we played practice round with him in Austin, and like he shows up to the first tee, and it's going to be the Bryson show, and we're just both watching him. He's trying to drive the 10th green, and we're just both like, I mean, we're like golf fans, At the end of the week, like, I mean, we're trying to crush this guy, you know what I mean? But we got to play our game, blah, 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 all the cliches. But I mean, it's just amazing to watch. Like, watching him on the range is unreal. Like when he
I was stressed out. Don't you, Jules? I mean, I have not seen him in person doing this, but his swing is so violent when I see him on the range. Is it really that violent in person?
Yes.
Well, he's like, it's part of his routine, right? Is to like after. It's like part of the speed training is after on certain days of the week, it's all very calculated. But he'll go after the practice round and he'll go to the range and just hit like 50 or 100 or however many it is, as hard and as fast as he can. He doesn't care really where they go. It's all about speed and all out effort. And so you just see him go down at the end of the range. Riviera was another one where he went, you have a net there as well. And he went up too close so that he couldn't hit it over the net, but he's just ripping. Like, I mean, before that thing even hits the net, you got another one teed up, ready to go. I mean, it's a show for sure, and we're all watching it.
It's nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Is it a chat? Does it take you out of your game? Like, I think of like other sports I grew up playing. Like you play to your opponent, but you're there watching him. Like, does it make you feel like you have to hit it harder, or it's got to be a tough challenge to kind of stay within yourself during that process?
It's almost easier because it's so ridiculous that you're like, all right, you're gonna go do whatever you're doing, and I'm just gonna go hit it way over here.
Well,
I'll meet you up by the green, and we'll figure it out at the end. So I haven't played with him in competition, I don't think, but I think it's just so like, crazy ridiculous, and it's such a show that it's almost like you go do your thing, and I'll do mine, and it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Adam, if you can comment in regard to what happened with Tiger, right? Like where were you when you heard the news, and how different of a feel and a vibe I'm sure it must have been at this Masters to not even have him there competing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just got back from the Genesis, and he stayed in LA for whatever he was doing there, some photo or some video stuff. But I was just like everybody else, kind of at home, and I remember getting a text maybe about it, and then I turned on the Golf Channel, and there we go. Like the news was out that he was in a car accident. We didn't really know his condition, and it was really, really eerie and scary. It's so real. Like he's just he's so superhuman. I mean, he's a superhero. I mean, he's all of our heroes. And so just to see something so crazy and everything that he's been through already, and it's like, here we go, another thing. And it's like, you got to be kidding me. But I was in shock like everybody else, and got the news as slowly as we all got it. But, hopefully he's on the mend here. But I can just say that I've seen it like without Tiger, in tournaments without Tiger, and tournaments with Tiger. We played with him in the fall in LA. And I mean, it's just there's no comparison to when he's in the mix, and he's even just around at a tournament. Like, he's there, and when he's not, he's not as well. So hopefully he's on the mend, and brighter days are ahead.
So I have a question for you both, actually. So we're talking about like Tiger being in the field, not being in the field, and how the vibe in the field or a tournament is with or without Tiger. But obviously, we just went through an entire year of COVID where there was no fans, obviously, in the field. And now fans are starting to trickle back. And so you've had a year with no fans, no interaction, and now more. So I'm sure there's things that kind of were positives that came out of not having fans, and maybe some negatives. But have you seen anything that you would maybe like to see kind of continue into the year now, now that fans are coming back? Like, I'm assuming, Jules, like from a caddy standpoint, navigating a course is a lot easier without having fans versus, 6 deep galleries. So is there anything that's positive that's coming out of this? Like, go for it.
The guy in the corner there, you had your hand up first.
Yeah, caddy parking is so much closer to the
Oh, these guys are getting so comfortable. It's crazy.
Oh, God, we're in the club
boy.
half the weeks. I mean, we're basically showering in there. I mean, it's but yeah, no, obviously all that stuff. It's better with fans, though. I mean, nothing replaces the energy. I think Adam will kind of expand on that, but it's kind of it was weird at first, wasn't it, Adam? Like, like Colonial the first week, like
quiet, right?
Eerie. It was really quiet, eerie. And then, I think the bigger events, even like the PGA that we played in the U.S. Open, especially in New York. I mean, we're in California and then New York for these majors, and it's like crickets out there. I mean, just bizarre. U.S. Open, we were probably 5 or 6 groups from the leaders, and we're kind wing foots back and forth, and we're passing some fairways, and you see Bryson and Matthew Wolf in the final group, and you can hear them having conversations with their caddies and stuff from the fairway over, and it was just like, we're contending for U.S. Open right now? Like, it's just weird.
Does that I'm sorry, does that play on your head a little bit? Like, does that like get into your head? Like, it's too quiet?
Yeah, it's like there's no excitement or energy, extra energy. I mean, you got to almost remind yourself, like, okay, this is a big tournament. This is whatever. This is important. This isn't Tuesday, because it certainly feels and looks a lot like Tuesday. But and then in Houston, I had forgotten that there were going to be fans back, and they started coming on Wednesday. And I mean, I'm walking out to maybe it was Thursday, but I'm walking out to the first tee or the putting green, and all these people are walking around. I guess it was Thursday, and some kid just kind of came up to me and was like, "All right, Adam, I got $100 on you today. I need you to break like 70 or something. I need you to shoot under 70, or I'm gonna be so mad." Like, it
wasn't a blonde with an orange shirt on, was it?
I was like, oh man, I was like, oh no, like I forgot about this part of it too. Like, they're cheering for you because they bet on you.
I mean, let's dive into that really quick. Because news came out this week that the Waste Management tournament in Phoenix, I'm assuming you guys heard this. They're going to have a pop-up gambling tent at the tournament next. Okay, so Adam, I know we're just getting to know each other. I'm a huge gambler, like borderline degenerate. Oh, stop. Borderline.
Admitting is the first step. That's good.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
So, I mean, I bet like on everything. And so I'm just like, I love the way that the PGA Tour is embracing gambling. It's like the PGA Tour and the NBA get it. They understand that gambling drives the needle, especially in golf. Like people who watch golf, or people who are watching the show or listen to our radio show, are avid golfers. In order to get that tier 2 group of fans, you've got to tap into those that gamble. Now it's going to kind of open their eyes and say, okay, listen, finding the metrics in golf is pretty easy. And when you know the metrics and you know the course and you know how the course fits certain golfers, you can win money. And so I just love it. I mean, how do the PGA Tour players feel about how the PGA Tour is really embracing gambling and what that's doing for your fan base?
I don't know. I can't speak for everyone, but it seems like most of us are probably on board with it. I think there's some questions. I think we get it. Like you just, laid out perfectly. Like it brings in a lot more people into the game, and it gets some excitement. And, you're not just paying attention to maybe who's winning the tournament, who's leading, and, there's more to it than that, which I think is great, because I think on the telecast and everything, you just see the same guys. You see the leaders, and then the next 5 or 10 names that we call name here, and it's very like over and over and over. But if you get into the DraftKings and the other ways to get everybody in the mix, everyone's paying attention, and it's I think it's fine. I think it's great. I think I'm a little cautious, or we're a little worried about like the live betting, when like I don't know what the parameters would be in that, if it got to the point where it was like, okay, he's going to make this putt or hit this fairway or the green, and what the timing there on that is, and it gets a little fishy to me. You probably know way more than I do on that, but I think that could be a little bit of a thing where I just bet on this guy to miss the fairway, so I'm going to have my buddy yell on his backswing or whatever.
Exactly.
Well, right now, how you could wager is they'll preview, like, so for example, they'll have like hole 16, 17, 18, and let's say you're paired up with Corey Connors, right? So it'll say, okay, 16, 17, 18, who's gonna win, or are you guys gonna tie? Are you both gonna par? Are you both gonna birdie? Are you both gonna bogey? So it's kind of, and then at some point, I think when you guys probably hit like hole 14 or 15, then I believe that wager shuts off. But could I call a friend while you're in your backswing and say,
Screen?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, is there insider trading that could happen? Probably. I don't know. John, any questions before we let these two fantastic gentlemen go?
How are things down at Dye Preserve right now? Have you been down in a while?
Yeah, I was out there today. It's been awesome, actually. It gets really good in March and April. They get it firm and fast, and I mean, just a couple weeks ago, it was probably the best I've ever seen it. We had some good games, some pros out there and stuff. It was awesome, and then came back and today it's like it rained a little bit this weekend and the week, and it's kind of getting back to Florida golf where it's a little softer and not quite as firm and fast as I'd like it, but it's kind of the nature of the beast down here.
Yeah, it's an awesome golf course. I think is Marina there? Christina? Yeah, Marina's there. Our friend Marina. We have a lot of members at Alpine that are members down there too. So really awesome place. But appreciate you taking some time with us today, Adam. Thanks.
Yeah, sorry that Jules and I really underdressed here with our shirts there, John. You really pulled off a good one.
I know, right? Isn't that a good
ladies kickoff party tonight, Adam. You got to keep the lady members happy.
Is it Peter Millar? Adam really wants it.
This is a G4, so yeah, we got the Millar cap. I'm on the G4 staff, so they hooked me up with some gears. So we'll send one down to you guys.
Two last questions before we let you go, Adam. What's your next tournament you're teeing it up in, and also what team do you have winning this week in Louisiana?
Oh gosh, well, I'm playing Valspar next week in Tampa. Team winning, man, I don't even know all the teams. I don't even know. I'm gonna say.
Well, Cantlay and Shoffley are together.
But you can't influence.
No.
You can't influence Anita. Can we mute her microphone, Brett?
I'll say that Joel Damon, Lanto Griffin sneaky matchup there that got forced into being paired up there quickly when Ryan Brem tested positive, I guess, but. So yeah, they got matched up there earlier this week. So I'll go with those guys. Joel's feeling pretty good, and they're pretty good friends and lighthearted group.
Fantastic.
Jules, can we bet on this, Adam, or no? Is this?
No.
We can give you like pseudo fake names.
No, definitely not.
You know what? Have Mallory open an account.
Yeah.
You can't bet on any of those.
Jules,
Yes,
before we let you go, Christina was so kind to invite me to play a round of golf with her and Mallory one day. And every time I tee it off, the only thing I really want to do is break 80. I break 80 like my month is made. And I broke 80 with your wife.
Yes.
And she
nice.
And she signed my scorecard. And so I just adore her. She's absolutely fantastic. She's so lovely. And you guys are so blessed. And please know how much we all appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Thank you so much.
You got it. I think Mallory would be happy to break 80 right now too.
They have a beautiful baby little girl right now, Madeline, and she's precious. So
thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
And Adam,
thanks, guys.
Adam, good luck next week.
All right, appreciate it. We'll see you.
You got it.
Good luck, girl.
Oh, that was so awesome. Way to go, Christina. Good get, babe. Good get.
Great guys. They're really great guys.
So he caddied for Mallory. He caddied for his wife while she was on the LPGA Tour.
On and off, yes. Yeah, there was a few events. Yes, he definitely caddied for her, especially when she was trying to get her LPGA card. He was very instrumental in her being, a successful tour player. So
Can you see Mark caddying for you? And John, can you see Julie caddying for you?
Mark caddies for me every weekend, pretty much. He is like my favorite. I'll be honest. He's my favorite golf partner. He keeps me so level. He knows my game. He knows exactly which clubs that I need to play, even though I literally have no idea how I get through a round of golf sometimes, but he knows my game. So I like him on my bag.
Let me just make sure my wife is not around here before I
You said
come
I
in.
was your favorite golf partner, Christina.
Well, there's a difference.
Abby. All right. Let's pick up what we want to say, John.
I was just gonna say that you're blessed because the caddy relationship with my wife and I would be a disaster. She not from me. She would be like, "Why did you miss the green? Aren't you a pro? What are you?"
Rightfully so.
Like, and she'd be like, "All right, are we done? Like, you get this out of your system?" I'm like, "Yeah, not." I love you, Jewel, but
I love you, Joel. I love you, Joel.
that wouldn't work out too well.
No, we played golf this weekend, and someone actually said to me, they're like, "Wow, you and your husband have a really good golf relationship," and I'm proud of that. I think more people should have that.
Is he still wearing that horrible orange yellow shirt?
No, garbage. It's in the garbage. We've moved on. Let's not talk about that shirt. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on. Let's pick up where we left off. And as always, we share with you the FedEx Cup standings. Brett, if you could throw those up. Thank you, Boo. Bryson DeChambeau, still at the top. Justin Thomas, Stuart Sink, moves up to 3 now. He was 26 last week, moves up to 3 now after his win last week. Shoffley, he moves down to 4. Cantlay to 5. Hovland to 6, Spieth to 7, Decky to 8, Dustin Johnson to 9, and Billy Horschel now pops into the top 10. Your guy. You love Billy Horschel, Christina. Why?
I don't know. I mean, listen, I think he played well at the match play. I mean, he won the match play. So, I mean, why not? I like Billy Ho. I think he's
I know you like him. You like him a lot. You like him a lot.
I like his wardrobe. I like
a lot.
Rumor has it you did offer to clean his white grass stained pants for him.
Oh my God. It was the funnest thing. That should be a gift. Like, I need that somewhere in my life. I have to find it as a gift. That was just fantastic.
All right, let's start previewing TPC Louisiana. And so this is an alternating round 4-ball and foursomes format. So the first and the third rounds will be 4-ball, and the second and the final rounds will be foursomes. John, I will let you pick it up from there because I know you've played in a lot of these, and you could explain to our viewers exactly what all that means.
Yep. Big difference between the two rounds is rounds 1 and 3, which is the best ball. You're playing your own ball the whole way. Okay. So you and I are playing, you make a 4, I make a 5. Our team score is 4, the better of the two. Okay. Little different in rounds 2 and 4 where we're alternating. We're playing one golf ball. So Anita, you're going to tee off on the even holes. I'm going to tee off on the odd holes. And we just hit the ball alternately until it goes into the hole. Big difference, right? With 2 balls in play versus 1 ball in play, which I love that they made the alternate shot into the final round too. So it could be some great drama coming into Sunday. The teams have to kind of figure out who's going to tee off on the even, who's going to tee off on the odd, whose strengths lay on this hole, whose strengths lay on that hole. And I love the format. I think it's great. I love these different formats we're seeing. Obviously, we saw the match play a few weeks ago and now into the Zurich. Listen, there's a little low in the tour after the Masters, but this should pump it up a little bit.
Love it. Love it. Course metrics. I always like to talk about these very slippery Bermuda greens. Rain in the forecast on Friday and Saturday. Minimal wind expected. Temperatures in the 70s. Now, in regard to this format, more than anything, team chemistry. Okay, yeah. Team chemistry more than anything. Other metrics: strokes gained total, strokes gained on approach, putting, and scrambling. Also, you want to keep an eye on players who thrive on Pete Dye courses as well. So those are the metrics. If you're going to do your own handicapping, again, those are the metrics that you want to research: strokes gained total, approach, putting, scrambling, and players who thrive on Pete Dye golf courses. All right, some of the odds out there. As we know, Rahm and Palmer, they're trying to defend their championship
from 2019, right?
Right, because they didn't play last year, and so they're 7-1 odds right now. Cantlay and Schauffele are 7-1 as well. But let me ask you guys this: I'm fading them. Cantlay, there's something wrong there, John, and maybe you could put your finger on it. I don't, he's not on point. He's not dialed in for whatever reason. And Schauffele, again, I think the mental aspect in regard to him falling apart when he did at the Masters, I know that on paper this looks like the super duper team, but something in my gut is telling me fade them. John, let's start with you. How do you feel about that twosome?
Yeah, I'm kind of fading him too, Anita. And I think the graphic we saw up before with our FedEx Cup points just shows that. Remember, Cantlay was second, I believe, for a while, first or second. Now he's fifth, and he's just every week it seems like he's going a tick down, a tick down, a tick down. I'm with you. I'm fading them too, and I'm also fading the Morikawa Matt Wolff team. I think
I am too. I'm fading them more because of Wolff.
Yeah, listen, Matt Wolff, God love him, but he's cold right now. So,
but you don't think Matt Wolff is cold because listen, he's this newbie on the tour, and there's been so much. He's been playing not great, obviously, but maybe this is the tournament that he needs to be able to kind of dial it down. He's playing in a team format. There's not it's different pressure, I think. I don't know. I'm putting them as my dark horse. Like I like those two together. I think they might balance each other out.
Well, yeah. You've got a guy who's cold and then a guy who's super hot on the other side. Maybe he can be like a crutch for him. And
I don't know.
I just here's a stat, and this is why, unfortunately, I think Wolff is going to bring Morikawa down. He's lost a combined 17 strokes off the tee in his last 4 starts.
Yeah. How do they pick? These pairings. This is, I know, totally derailing this conversation, but we have all these teams. How are they picked? I feel like this is like the PGA prom season. Like, how are these teams?
Exactly what it is. It's like, hey, I was kind of wondering if you're not doing anything in New Orleans next week. You want to go to a movie?
Yeah, I can't.
Karate Kids playing. You want to go?
I can't figure out some of these pairings, so I'm not sure if it's like, hey, did he send him like a box of donuts and say, hey, will you be my date at Zurich? I just can't figure these things out, but I don't know.
Is that what Mark did? He sent you a donuts, Christina?
I did not have a problem with Mark.
Is that what
I would have said? Yes.
But your prom date sent you a box of donuts before he asked you? Is that? I'm trying to understand the donut analogy.
I'm just saying that.
I think we're opening up some deep memories right now.
No, because kids today, when they ask invite each, we're in the middle of prom season, I guess. But kids are always they have to invite the girl, and they have these wonky ways of inviting the girl and the boy inviting the girl to be prom dates. They do all these corny things. So I'm just imagining. The PGA having prom season, and they have to Billy Horschel's asking Burns would you be my new date for the Zurich?
Picture Sung Jae Im with the speaker above his head standing outside, like John Cusack.
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out.
What was that? 16 can't. What movie was that? Breakfast Club. What was that?
Anything?
Say anything. Yes, that's correct.
Anyway.
Christina for the win. Yes.
Look at you, Christina.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
So here are the teams that I'm fading: Morikawa and Wolff, McDowell and Wallace, and Redmond and Sam Ryder. I'm fading them. Teams that I like, I'll give Rahm and Palmer a chance to repeat. I like Horschel and Burns a lot. Horschel is from Louisiana. Mm-hmm. Do you know that? Born and raised in Louisiana.
Does she know that? Of course she knows that.
Dang.
It was a general question.
General answer.
Chris Kirk and Brendan Todd.
Watson and Scheffler. That's an interesting match.
That's my team right there.
Yeah.
Really? Is that your
yes.
Those are your guys?
That's my team.
Let me see what those odds are. I should have printed something better.
Very interesting to me.
16-1. 16-1. Bubba.
Money has already been placed in that bet.
Bubba. Okay. You're so funny. Who did Adam say he liked again? Who were the two that he said he liked? Do you remember?
He liked Lando.
Yeah.
Lando Griffin and who was he? Who was he paired with? I forget. I'm sorry.
Okay, so look and find out who Griffin is with, and that's who Adam likes. All right. Any other final thoughts on this weekend's tournament before we move on?
No.
No.
I love the Kokrak Pat Perez team just because I think they're bros and they'll have a good time out there. I can't believe I'm saying that. I kind of like Brendan Steele and Keegan Bradley also.
I do too.
Playing well.
I
hate Keegan Bradley. So
I like Leishman. I like Leishman and Cam Smith. I like Grace and Varner. I love Bubba and Scheffler. I like Castro and Tringali. So
it's a tough tournament to predict, really. I mean, when you really think about it, it's a really tough one.
They've got 160 players in it, right? So
80 teams. Yep.
80 teams. All right. Some big storylines before we end the show. PGA Tour, we talked about it with Adam just a second ago. PGA Tour and DraftKings will partner together to open a sports book on site at the TPC Scottsdale site of the annual Waste Management Phoenix, and what Tour calls a state-of-the-art premium experience for fans to be able to bet on all sports while on the golf course. Like,
we know where you'll be.
Like this was already what do you call it?
Use your word.
Second word sounds
this was already you have to do something in life. This was already a bucket list. This was already a bucket list to go to the Waste Management. It was already I'm sorry, I've only had a few sips. It was already a bucket list, okay, to get there. Now, are you kidding me? I mean, how much? It's a game changer. You're not only can you bet on golf while you're there, you can bet on everything.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't leave property. You would just probably get there at like 7 a.m., big cup of coffee, betting on like English Premier League soccer in the morning, and then
listen,
it's like Vegas meets the tour. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is awesome. Are you?
No, I wish that more would. I really want to see more LPGA betting, though, guys. Like, I just think that, like you were talking before, how great betting is for sports, how great it is to increase viewership. I want to see more people betting on the LPGA because we'll get more eyeballs. I mean, that might be one way to grow the watch.
That's true.
Right?
We're going to have an LPGA update in just a second. Hold tight. I do want to throw this topic out. PGA Tour has created a $40 million bonus pool for players who boost publicity and engagement. Now, how is this player and these players going to get decided? The $40 million will be distributed to 10 players. Follow me here. These players will be chosen through an impact score. Impact score, number fueled by 6 factors. Ready?
Bring it on.
A player standing in the FedEx Cup, popularity in Google search, their Q rating, their brand rating, all right, a metric that judges how a player delivers to sponsors based on their exposure, a meltwater mentions, the frequency of a player converge across a number of media platforms, the MVP index, and the player who's considered the most valuable will receive $8 million at the end of the year. And the program that apparently it begun in January. I know. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Mic is yours, John.
What a fucking joke this is. Are you fucking kidding me? Mm-mm. One of those metrics had to deal with playing golf. Everything else was bullshit.
We have prom, and now we have the popularity contest. Like, the PGA Tour is turning into high school.
So
shirt, hat.
I mean, go ahead, John. I got lots.
You're not playing for enough money. I mean, seriously. Now you have to these guys are getting paid based on how many Twitter feeds they have, Twitter likes they have, or a popularity contest and this Google search engine. I mean, like, I could be on the tour and take my pants down, walking down the 18th hole, and get 1 million hits. Hey, that's $2 million.
But that's not.
I shot 87, but I took my pants down.
They're talking about positive impact, right? So how are they measuring? Who is measuring this? I don't understand. Why?
Taking my pants down is very positive. So.
I mean, honestly, I know this has been conversation that's been going on.
Let's be honest. DeChambeau's going to win this, right?
I don't know. I can't say. I mean, I know you. All right. Well, listen. If they're looking at the number of Google searches, I mean, you can have a player who just you can skew Google searches. I do social media all the time, and listen, you could skew that information pretty easy if you get the right amount of people. You get Howard Stern for 2 seconds talking about a player, and you can skew somebody's Google searches in 2 seconds.
Yeah, but it's a variety. It's not just that. It's a variety. Like I'm reading the criteria here, and right now, based on this season, to me, it's either Spieth or DeChambeau. They're the two big storylines right now. To me, they're the reason why people are watching. There's no Tiger. Rory is wet in the bed.
They're getting paid for that already.
I understand. I understand that. All I'm saying is I'm asking the question, who do you think wins this? Right now, my money would be on DeChambeau getting the extra $8 million based on the season. I think Spieth is a close second. Is there another player out there that you think is moving? He's not playing though. I'm saying
this is not about playing, really.
Hideki.
I mean,
Hideki. It's an easy one. Hideki.
The whole
country of Japan. The entire country of Japan.
Fact. I mean, it makes sense just to give them money to do more appearances and do appearance fees and put the money to grow the game that way. I don't know. I just think it's just very interesting. I got to look at this more and really dive into this. But I know they get paid for all their activity inside the ropes. So this is a way of rewarding the players outside of the ropes. So it'll just be interesting. It is going to come down to a popularity contest. Players like DeChambeau also and Fowler have extraordinary. I mean, look what Ricky Fowler has done for his brand. I mean, how many flat brim hats and creamsicle orange pants and shirts that people have bought. So, I mean, there is something to be said for the impact these players have. So it'll just be interesting to see how this rolls out this year. So I don't know.
All right, but let's end the conversation on this. John, you answer first. What's the one player that you feel this year on tour is drawing viewership?
I said it before. I think it's Matsuyama after the Masters win. I think that's just that. I think if you take the last 2 weeks on how huge his win was at Augusta, it's historical. Number one, we talked about it at length, but this guy's never going to pay for a meal again in Japan. I mean, he's like the most popular guy in the country. Think about that. And even though it's a small country, it's a dense country. He's the most popular guy there. Of course, I think he's the winner just because of the Masters win.
Christina?
DeChambeau.
Yeah, I say DeChambeau. I think DeChambeau is moving the needle, even though he.
Everyone's talking about him.
Yeah. All right. Let's end with the LPGA update. Go ahead. What you got for us, Christina?
Oh, wow.
Give us a winner. Give us a winner this week. Give us a winner.
So you want a winner. All right. So the ladies, they're back from Hawaii. They're in LA for the Hugel Air Premier. I can't say that. I'm sorry. I just had too many hurricanes. The LA Open, it's at the iconic Wilshire Country Club in California. It's the first time in 2 years. Again, we're looking at another Saturday finish. Players that I'm paying attention to this week are Inbee Park. Nelly Korda, she's already had one win, 4 top 3 finishes this season, top 20 in greens and regulation, top of the list with birdies or better per round. So can she get it done? I think she can. I think this is her tournament to win. We also have in the field, though, last week's champ and defending 2019 champion, Lydia Ko, who won last week at the Lotte Championship, 28 under. She got her 16th career win. So can she go back-to-back and win this year? Again, she's on a roll. I think she's playing well. She's another player that I think is hot and would not lose money if you put it down on her. So, yeah, it should be a great tournament out in LA. Now, I wanted to throw this out there. If you guys want to talk more about the LA Open, let's do it. But I wanted to talk about Michelle Wee's hoodie, the hoodie for golf. Are you familiar with this?
I am, yeah.
No, you're not. Okay. So Michelle was not in Hawaii last year. I believe she's playing this week in LA. But if you were on social media all last week, you probably saw her all over talking about her hoodie for golf campaign. Golden State Warrior player Damian Lee and Kent Bazemore, I think I'm saying their names right, were spotted sporting this tie-dyed hoodie Wednesday. 3 hours later, the $75 hoodie sold out. Like, it sold out in like 3 hours. So what's the deal with this hoodie? Well, Michelle was inspired by the success of the WNBA, the now iconic orange hoodie. If you remember that from 2 years ago, it generated millions of impressions after players like LeBron James and Lil Wayne and the late Kobe Bryant were spotted wearing this orange hoodie. And the orange hoodie was all about showing support for women's sports and supporting, saying basically, I support women in sports. So Michelle had the idea. She reached out to Roberta Bowman, who is the media director over at the LPGA, and said, you know what? I want to do something like this for the LPGA to help drive some awareness and at the same time also help causes that are important to her. So they agreed, let's do something together. So during COVID, Michelle designed this kind of pink and blue tie-dyed hoodie with the LPGA logo. Mine is on the way. It's the proceeds from the purchase of this hoodie are going toward raising awareness and support of the LPGA. The tour, like, primary motivation for this hoodie is to benefit the Renee Powell grant, which provides need-based grants for the LPGA girls golf program to increase participation in Black communities, and grants to provide instruction and equipment for girls to stay in the game and play, as well as also supporting the Clearview Legacy Foundation, which supports the history and future of the Clearview Golf Club. It's the only golf course in the United States built, owned, and run by an African American, which was Renee's father. Renee Powell, for those that are not familiar, she is the second Black player on the LPGA Tour, and she has dedicated her life to growing the sport. So this hoodie, by purchasing this, you're supporting incredible foundations, charities, and also helping support women's golf and saying, you know, I support women in sports. So if you want your hoodie, go to the lpgaproshop.com and order yours. It's almost sold out again, but it's really it's a great way, great cause to show your support for women in sports.
Fantastic.
That was a
Good
lot.
job. Good job, Christina. Good job. I'm gonna log on tonight and order mine for sure. All right. Any final thoughts before we sign off for the night?
Nope.
No.
I got nothing.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Johnson pretty with his little flower shirt. Christine is done with her hurricane.
Let me tell you something. I filled this up during our conversation. Probably.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, wait, I'm not in NOLA? I'm confused.
Guys, thank you. Another great show as always. Appreciate you. We might wait. I don't know. Do
Any
we have
questions? Yeah. Where's Brett, man?
I didn't throw it out. I didn't throw out the possibility of it. Let's bring in Brett. He produces the show Behind the Glass. I'm sorry. Hi, Brett.
You know, you do all you can for a team, for a show. You work hard and you give your best. And sometimes you just get forgotten. And that's okay. That's okay. It happens to everybody. My feelings aren't hurt. Not really.
I'm sorry, Brett.
But we do have two good questions I wanted to get to.
Oh,
if it's okay with you.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So our first question comes from a Twitter user. And he would like to know, if golf betting continues to take hold and is a big deal, what do you envision would be your favorite prop bet? I thought that was a really good question, especially for you, Anita, because you're the prop betting queen. What would be like what? I don't know if he means, club used on hole 4 or anything like that, but
so I find that I have a lot more success betting guys that are going to finish within the top 5, top 10, top 20, top 40. I win more money. It's really very in this year, for whatever reason, this year more than ever, it's really hard to pick a winner each and every week. I mean, it's really, really hard. But if you do your deep dive, and I shared with you earlier on the show in regard to the metrics of each golf course and what is needed in order to win on each track, I hate to use the word easy, but it's easy to find diamonds in the rough that their metrics scream that they're going to do. They might not win, okay, but their metrics scream that this is a golf course that fits their game. And so you might get a golfer to finish in the top 40 at plus 350, or you might get a golfer that's going to finish in the top 30 at plus 210. And that's where I win my money. So I like betting top 40, top 30, top 20, top 10 more than I like betting winners in top 5.
Okay. Very nice. The other question we have is for the NBA All-Star game. Most recently, they've been doing a draft, right? They name a captain, much like the Ryder team. They name a captain, and then it's been like Kevin Durant and LeBron James. I feel like every year, but then they draft from the available All-Stars. Is that a model that the PGA should go to for its team and match play events? Should the players get to pick and draft their own teams versus it being any other type of selection process?
I would love it, but I like, how do you do that? Like, how do you do that, John?
Yeah, I think you just maybe take the Zurich one step further. I don't think I would change the Ryder Cup that way or the President's Cup, but you could certainly have an event that it's a foursome where, hey, we're going to get 4 guys together and like a Monday tournament that you'd play in any time during the year here. It would be 4 tour pros getting together and playing an event. But I do like that for like an all-star game, something that's kind of, I don't want to use the term gimmicky, but it is, but not for a big event like the Ryder Cup or the President's Cup.
So if that was to happen, then what would you take the top 40 players in the 40,
like you guys 40? Are the captains, and then you have the entire tour.
Right, but what I'm saying is like here. So you take let's say the top 40 guys on the FedEx Cup standing. Okay, right. So those 40 guys are your 40 captains, and then 40.
Number 1 picks first, right?
No. 40 would pick first.
Why?
Because he's 40.
So
why gets the advantage?
Why wouldn't the guy who's number 1 get the best pick? He's the best player.
Because he's the best player. You want to create parity, right? So
I don't think the players want to create parity. I think they want to win. Like if you're in the schoolyard, you're picking the best player
right now.
You're picking the best player.
But hold on. I want to let me jump in here because Anita's NFL roots are coming strong here because this is how the teams do it, right? Like this is how they do it. The team who finished worst gets the first pick. In the NBA, they do a ridiculous lottery where they freeze the envelope so the Knicks can get Patrick Ewing. But in the NFL, worst team picks first so that they have a better chance at being competitive the following year. All I'll say to that model is it is the model of the most popular sports league in North of America. So, do you think that? So, for example, whoever number 40 is, and he has a chance and he's struggling, and Tiger Woods in his prime is available with that first pick for his teammate. Don't you think he's going to want to pick Tiger Woods? And wouldn't that increase the chances and the parity and competition all along? You don't want to see Tiger Woods and Bryson or Dustin Johnson teamed up because it's
why don't you do it like a snake draft where what goes 1 down to 40 and then 40 back up to 1?
No, but
you're reversing the snake.
Right. So just for poops and giggles, look, I'm calling up the FedEx standings. Okay, so who's at 40? So Matthew Wolff is at 40. Okay, so Matthew Wolff would pick first. And so here's the guys that are like 41 and down. Tringali, McNeely, Fitzpatrick, Rory, Louis, Varner, Gooch, Clark, Grace, Burns, Casey, Kisner. So again, I understand what you're saying, John, but would it really be fair if DeChambeau gets an opportunity to, pick Fitzpatrick or Paul Casey first? That's my point. But I like it. I think
it'd be kind of fun.
I think it'd be fun, and you could broadcast the draft.
I think they should put everyone's name in a hat and just pull it out. That would actually be more fun.
No, I think the draft would be better. You know, you always see like in the NFL, the NBA draft, the guy who was supposed to be picked 10th, and then it goes to like 12th, and he's still not picked, and he's just sitting there like
Brady Quinn, right,
this
Anita?
is awkward. Yeah, remember Brady Quinn, right?
Miami. They went with Ted Ginn Jr. and his family that year.
So true story. We're gonna end the show on this. I'm in Baltimore. I'm working in Baltimore, and I'm hosting a draft show. And the Dolphins are on the clock. Brady Quinn, he's sitting right there. Can't wait for the Dolphins to draft him. All excited about it. And then was it Cam Cameron?
Cam
Cameron comes to the podium and says, or come, whatever, and they say, Ted Ginn Jr. I was so mad. I'm live on the draft show. I take my head, and I have 2 co-hosts, so I'm not like walking out and going dead on air. But I was so mad. I took my headsets off. I threw my headsets down on the desk, and we were on a stage. We were broadcasting live at a sports bar in Baltimore, and I was so pissed off. I jumped off the stage, and I tore my ACL.
Ted Ginn Jr. is responsible for you tearing your ACL. Can I just say something? Because I know you want to end the show, but I like to. This is like my one chance at stardom here, so I want to take advantage.
Go for it, Brett.
I as Anita knows, but I don't know if you guys know. I grew up you can see the Dolphins blanket in my background here, but I grew up a diehard Miami Dolphins fan. And I was, I'm a little bit younger than
Watch yourself.
I'm a little bit younger. And I was a kid during that draft, and I was so pissed that they took Ted Ginn Jr. And I'm even more mad that he went on to have a much longer career than Brady Quinn. He ended up winning like a Super Bowl with the Saints. It was a whole thing. But anyway, that's my contribution to tonight. And John, if I do get a membership at Alpine Country Club, I want one of those shirts.
You got it, bro. I got you covered. I got
right,
one coming in for you, one coming in for Adam. You get a shirt. You get a shirt. You get a shirt.
Let's wait, Brett. Where'd Brett go?
I'm back.
Brett,
I'm back.
get
I'm here. Sorry.
That's okay. We're gonna end on this, okay? Because we're gonna tease the draft shows. Because not only do we do On the Tee, but we do. I'm breaking down the board with Steve Verderosa on Friday night, and this coming Friday we're gonna do our mock draft. Can't wait for it. As you know, Brett, I'm making a ton of calls this week, and today I spoke to somebody. You ready for this?
Uh-oh.
I spoke to somebody today who said that chances are Atlanta trades down. Cincinnati's going to take Penei Sewell
and pitch to Miami. Can I say it? Yeah, I can say it. Get the fuck out of here. That would be insane. So that
would be.
It would blow up the draft because that means Chase slides down
Kyle
further.
Pitts is the best player
in the draft.
In this draft, and if he falls to the Dolphins at 6, wow.
Hey, Anita, no defending Tua if he can't make it work with Kyle Pitts, right?
I'm not defending him anyway. So.
I know. You didn't even want him to be the pick to begin with.
No. Anyway,
all right.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you. Sleep well tonight knowing that. Guys, I love you so much. Christina, thank you so much for getting Adam and Jules on. They were fantastic. I love you. John, great shirt. Again, everybody, if you missed any part of the show, it's on all our social media platforms. You could go back and watch it. We had Adam Long and his caddy Jules on a little bit earlier. So make sure. I love it.
Yeah, let's do it, right?
I love it. So make sure you go back and watch. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. And we're here again every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock on the Tee. We'll see you then.